You're listening to Dude Podcast with JC and Will. Put some pep in that step. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm JC.
And I'm Will.
And you already know we're listening to Dude because we have that awesome intro. Thanks, Will.
You know, the superstar of that intro, my 5-year-old, Archie.
You know what? And I thought he was potentially AI. So I was just so happy to find out that he was a real boy.
He was not interested in listening to it. It's kind of like, you know, when you have a serious actor on like a talk show and they're like, so Johnny Depp, do you watch your movies? Or he's like, nah, not at all. That's the way he was.
I don't watch my own films. Why would I? You know, I get that though, to be honest with you, like in the sense of like, it not in the sense of like, I'm Johnny Depp and I would have that opportunity, but like, I don't like, I know that like back in the day, when I was doing theater, they would always like record it and granted, it was like old, but I never had any desire to ever watch. It's weird. I don't have any desire to watch myself. Bizarre.
So I edit this podcast. It honestly took me like, I don't know, like a good 3 or 4 weeks to get used to like seeing my dumb face in post.
No, it's weird. I mean, the Zoom thing is, I finally have gotten more relaxed with Zoom in my real job. Like, I have to minimize the screen on Zoom because I end up like becoming really fixated on certain things. I don't know. And then the whole, like, it's funny too, because like people, you know, like you'll be wearing like a suit jacket. My favorite is like, if I'm interviewing or I'm like in a really formal like demonstration or something like that, I'll wear like a suit jacket and then I'll have like athletic shorts underneath it, but then I'll have to like, you know, take out the garbage or something like that. So my favorite is just like someone who's walking your dog and be like, oh, like I just like maybe I got confused midway through or like didn't have the like didn't have it even needed like put the pants on. I don't know. I just love like to see like because I see people in that state and you can't just ignore them, you know.
Right.
And I'm not having pants on just to leave my house and move garbage, you know.
It's funny you say that because during one of our podcasts, I will not say which one. It's up to the duties to figure this one out. If you watch the videos, there is one podcast that while we were talking, I was so hot because I had been working all day outside that day. And I got so hot. So while we were talking, I just shimmied my pants off and I did the rest of the podcast in my boxers.
You just needed that sweet relief.
And you know what? It felt 1,000 times better.
There you go. I mean, listen, I'm a big if I can get those pants off, man.
Me too, dude.
They're attacking the leg, man. I'm also I'll wear like a sweat, like a sweater. I'll do sweater. I'll do sweatshirt and shorts. I just don't
me too,
like
dude.
it.
Oh, I love it. That's the best fall outfit of all time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great.
Like I hate paint. I'm very anti-paint.
I am too. Yeah, we should start a movement.
I hate paint.
Yeah, anti-pants movement.
It's
funny. And to be clear, we're not talking about it in a pervy way. We're just saying, like, liberate those legs.
Yeah,
show those knees. You know, and arguably, knees are the sexiest part of your body.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Make a case for it.
You know what? Some people have sharp knees. And I'm all about it. Give me your sharp knees. Give me your thick old knees. I want to see them.
They're underrated.
Get out of here! I don't need you anymore. Get out of here!
What's that from? Oh yeah, that's from Home Alone.
Will, there was every one of those, like, the 90s was full of like the dog goes missing or the dog becomes a member of a family, and then like that was like a very common theme. Like there was a ton of those movies, and there was always a point where the owner had to pretend like against their own will, that they no longer wanted the dog. It happened in every single one of those movies. And there was that, I don't even want you anymore. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't even,
You are right. There are a surprising amount of movies with kids doing that. The question is, did it work? Did it tug on your heartstrings?
And the dog's looking back. The dog's like looking back. And I'm like, and it tugged on mine. I got upset. I was
For
like,
sure.
But even as a child, I was like, this feels unnecessary. We don't need this. We don't need this part in the movie. Like, can't we just like be like, hey, listen, they got to get rid of you. Like, this is why. Like, and then like we sit there and we're like, okay, that's justifiable. But instead, it was like the character had to pretend that they hated the animal because that's the only way the animal could understand the emotional situation.
You're right.
And then-
yeah.
Well, you know what though? Again, I guess if you're looking at the evolution of like animal movies, like the '90s, even though there was some very dark, the Homeward Bounds, the
Airbud.
in them, much better than what we started with in like the '60s, where like they would just kill the dog. Like
Oh, yeah, like the Old Yeller. Yeah.
where the red fern grows, they were just like, hey, I got a great idea. Why doesn't the dog just die? That was the best they could come up with there in like the 60s. They're like, you'd be really sad. How about the dog that you become emotionally attached to throughout the entire film and or book? Hey, how about it just die?
I got a question for you. And people at home, feel free to play along. What is the best 90s animal movie? Because I got one in my head. I used to love it.
Like live, okay, this is important distinction. Like live action?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
live action?
Yeah. For me, while you're thinking of yours, Andre was a great one. But The Seal?
First of all, that was not that good of a movie.
You shut your filthy ass.
Andre was not. Andre, the reason Andre has been forgotten in the lore of 90s movies because it was not very good.
It was great. And you know what was overrated? Free Willy. Stupid movie.
Well, it had the MJ, and it had that scene. It had the scene where the whale breached and went over, which, my God, how dangerous was that? The whale went over the boy, and he was
I'm going to guess
down.
that's not CGI.
I just don't think it actually. I mean, I think literally. Now I need to go back and rewatch Free Willy. I think it was a matter of it was just a hey, we're gonna do a shot of
Angles.
a boy, and
Yeah.
he just has his hand up, and then we're gonna like, have like a fake belly of a whale. Yeah, they didn't like. We got one shot. We're gonna have the whale jump over this.
Can you imagine? It's the last day of filming, and they're like, yes, ending scene, we got this. And the whale just lands on that kid like a...
And the whale's just like rolling around. They kind of roll
You see the
whale.
hands on the edges, like...
Okay, I got one. If you're going like obscure movies, live action movies, I got one for you. It was called Zeus and Roxanne. You remember Zeus and Roxanne?
Okay, you're going to tell me that a Deuce and Roxanne is better than Andre? You're out of your mind.
It's not Zeus and Roxanne. It was Zeus and Roxanne. It was about a dog and a dolphin, and they were friends.
Wait, Deuce and Roxanne?
No, it was Zeus. It was not Zeus.
Oh, Zeus?
Yeah.
Zeus and Roxanne? I kept you saying Deuce. I'm like, already the name is so much worse than Andre.
Well, I mean, I'm not pretty kind of cool. I think the name Deuce is, dude. If your name's Deuce, you have to be like a Division One, like tight end or something. Like that's a cool name. Or you have to be like an old Western, like a bad guy in a Western.
Weren't you a big Milo and Otis guy?
I enjoyed Milo and Otis because I like the pub. But the movie, but let me tell you two really interesting things about that movie. First, they actually show the dog giving birth in that film, and cat.
They showed the actual dog, like,
Yes.
how do you know that?
because I watched the movie a lot as a child, and I remember being like, even at the time, being like, not doing
So,
it.
so it's not another like Free Willy angle thing. You see it coming out of the vaginal canal.
I thought I love your description there. I mean, yes, medically, yeah, I believe that's what it showed. Yeah, and you see it. I'm pretty positive both dog and cat.
God, it feels. I mean, I think I'd rather see a dog get murdered at the end of a movie than see actual dog birth.
It's insane. It's absolutely like it's crazy. Like I remember watching because it's like, again, it's like the most like blissful, like Milo Lewis, their friends, they get separated, they love frolicking the flowers, like the most sweet innocent movie, and then all of a sudden at one point in the movie you see it live action, they're getting murdered, dude. Let me ask you, what do you have a reason why Andre, which is not that good of a movie, Andre was your favorite live action animal?
Look, if we're talking about tugging on the heartstrings, it was just adorable from beginning, middle, and end. If you're listening to this podcast, pause and just watch the trailer. And you're going to be like, I got to watch this movie. It's a great movie. Duties, if you're out there listening, go to our Instagram, go to our email, tell us how you feel about Andre. Was it stupid or was it good? Because in my head, I remember watching it thinking like, this is a great movie.
Well, I can give you, first of all, I can give you a reason why Zeus and Roxanne, touching friendship between a dog and a dolphin was a great film. And it's one man that he was a staple. Give me a second. Steve Guttenberg was one of the stars of this film.
Was he in The Big Green? Was he the sheriff in Big Green?
He was the sheriff in The Big Green.
He's funny. Yeah.
I feel like Steve Guttenberg, his movie career was, he did the, I know he did the police academies. And then I think he just did a bunch of children's movies throughout the 90s. Was he in It Takes Two? He did It Takes Two with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Oh, you're asking the wrong man.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Yeah,
you had little sisters. Like Emily was like reading Boxcar Children and Babysitter's Club. Like she didn't really watch. Like I guess maybe like Little Women, but I mean, nobody watches Little Women except for my sister.
Yes. Steve Guttenberg was It Takes Two, which all It Takes Two was a knockoff of the Parent Trap. That's it. It literally was the Parent Trap. Okay, dude. Okay, duties. We're gonna have you play along here. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score of It Takes Two. Probably the highest commercially successful Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie, only because I think it was the only one that made theaters. We're going to have you guess kind of around, at least ballpark, the Rotten Tomatoes score, because you're going to be surprised at the Rotten Tomatoes score.
I bet you that's the best of their movies. So
give me a ballpark, the Rotten Tomatoes score.
I don't know what their score is based off of, but I'm guessing it's on a vegetable scale. So I'm gonna say it's 2 cucumbers.
No. And, out of 100, like a quiz you'd have at school.
I'm gonna say 20.
Wait a minute. Actually, no. Hold on. We're gonna take a step back here because I'm coming to the realization. Do you know what Rotten Tomatoes is?
I know what Rotten Tomatoes is. I know they're like professional reviewers and like fan reviewers, but I don't know their metric scale. Like I just thought it was just like, oh, it's pretty good, or like, oh, it's not good.
This is shocking to me, Will. This is something that I'm learning in real, because like I thought everybody, like I use the Rotten Tomato scale, that rubric, if you will. I use it to pick what film I'll go.
No way you do that because it's stupid.
I promise you, it has to hit a certain score in order for me to be willing to go to the theater and watch it.
That's terrible. You know why? Because I can promise you, there some of our favorite movies have terrible scores, and if you went by that, you would otherwise miss out on a really great movie.
Well, I use it, and I'm just shocked that you don't even know how the system works. So the system is 1 out of 100. So your guess here on the It Takes Two is you gave it you said the best reviewed film, and you're giving it a 20.
I don't know. How was that a bad answer?
Well, they did. It's like you're taking a test. If you're taking a test and you were to say someone did the best version on that test they've ever done, and they got a 20, is that good?
No, but here's where I thought we were going with this.
Okay.
I thought we were saying this happens all the time in cinema. People love a movie, but the critics hate it, and the critics mean nothing. So the critics say, "Oh, this is a 20," but the fans are like, "Pretty good."
Well, let me tell you, it got an 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
out of 100.
Yeah.
I think they would have been better if they gave him 2 cucumbers and a zucchini. If they went by the actual vegetable scale, that would have been better.
Can you imagine? Like, do you imagine coming home from college and you taken your final and you got an 8?
Here's the thing. They don't care. This is why I'm saying don't go listen to Rotten Tomatoes because it's stupid. Because those girls probably got loaded off that movie. And everyone watched it. Everyone watched it.
Add the great Steve Guttenberg and the late, great Kirstie Alley.
It didn't matter what the Rotten Tomatoes score was. That's why Rotten Tomatoes is stupid.
I mean, listen, Rotten Tomatoes didn't exist back then. They just had Siskel and Ebert. Those guys. Remember, they would give the thumbs up. That was a big deal. That was the stamp of approval. You got 2 thumbs up.
And if it was really good, 2 thumbs way, way up.
Yeah, they would say, you're right. They would, and that would always be part of like the preview. They'd be like, Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs way up.
Do you think Dude Podcasts, if they had a Rotten Tomatoes for podcasts, how many thumbs do you think we would get? Like a quarter thumb?
I'm worried where those thumbs would be placed. After listening to it, I'm not sure where
two thumbs parallel to the ground.
I'm not sure where those thumbs would be shoved into after listening to the podcast.
That's how bad it is.
That's 2 thumbs up a rear. I hate it so much. I just stuck thumbs up my.
They had to put those thumbs somewhere.
I stuck the thumb where the sun don't shine. They interview him. It's Gold Ebert. They're like, I can't even find my thumbs. I've shoved them so far up myself.
You know what? You know what's funny is I think I would love that so much. I'd like put that as like a little sticker on a website. Be like, you know, some people like Rotten Tomatoes gives us a score, blah 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 blah. I would just be like, Rotten Tomatoes says put these thumbs where the sun don't shine.
You know what? You know what's funny?
Shove these thumbs up your secret garden.
But I haven't seen these thumbs for weeks. I hated it so bad. Okay, so that's another children's film that for some reason we were subjected to a lot as kids. The Secret Garden. Remember?
Yeah, it was kind of boring. It was kind of something. It was up my sister's alley for sure.
It was don't you give it too much credit. It was terrible, and it was a movie for whatever reason. I swear, I was subjected to that movie like 3 or 4 times.
The thing about a Secret Garden is, I didn't know this is where the podcast was going to go. By the way, I didn't think I was going to say the thing about Secret Garden is. The thing about Secret Garden is it's a British movie, and got no problem with the British. But their movies tend to be a lot of dialogue. Americans, we need like boom, bang, bang, boom. You know what I'm saying? Secret Garden is just dialogue. They're running around the garden, and that's it.
I'm so glad that your hot take was, I have no problem with the British.
Hey, look, if you guys want to avoid controversy, you shouldn't be watching this show, all right?
Listen, I got a stance on the British. I like them. That's my stance.
Some of you guys may not like this, but
Hey,
British, they're fine by me.
Oh man, well that's great. I think actually they're kind of the worst. I think historically they're actually kind of the worst.
Wait, oh, really?
Well, they kind of conquered the world.
In the Secret Garden? I missed that part.
No, I meant.
I was like, I don't remember anybody conquering the world in Secret Garden. I just remember a garden.
No, I meant historically, like the British monarchy, like the superpower that was the English, not the film. That would be hilarious though if that was like that was sort of the undercurrent of the movie, was like the British actually conquering all these civilizations, but we didn't realize it. We just thought it was about a garden that we're like. But Will, I know that you had a lot of things you wanted to get to, but I know we spent entirely too much time talking about
children's cinema. Well, okay, yes. So I know we like story time around here, and I feel like this is the story that did I ever tell you about my insane roommate when I transferred colleges who threatened me?
No.
So my freshman and sophomore year, I went to Oklahoma State with our pal J.C. Crowdman, amongst Jordan Hill and
Go Folks.
Yeah, many other people, but it just wasn't the right fit for me. So after sophomore year, I transferred to Oklahoma Wesleyan University. Played baseball there, very small liberal arts college. I really enjoyed my time there. That's where I met my wife. But I didn't know anybody there when I transferred there. So I stayed a dorm. I got a dorm they paired me with a random roommate. And this guy, he was new to the university too. And his name was a year younger. So he was a sophomore. I was a junior. And was a track star.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like he actually broke some NAIA records. Like you probably look him up. Yeah. But scared the Jesus out of me one day. We get along just fine at this point. It's about 2 or 3 weeks into school.
Okay.
And I go to class, and I come back to the room after class, and I see him in there, kind of sitting like this. He has his arms crossed, and he's sitting next to his bed, and he sees me come in, and he goes, "Hey, can we talk?" And I said, "Yeah." Ooh. He goes over to the door, locks it.
Oh, what's going through your head?
I honestly, I'm like, oh, what is happening? Then he goes to the window closest to Pines. He takes a chair and pulls it up next to a chair so we're facing each other. And he goes, "Sit down."
Does he do the thing where like he whips the chair around and like straddles it backwards? You know
no. He doesn't go that far.
That is like a power move right there. Where that's like the interrogation, like police officer, like, you know what I mean?
No, he did. Well, no, but he did a different power move. He has me sit down, and he bends over and puts his elbows on his knees, and then holds his hands up to his chin, and just looks at me and goes, he literally stares at me and goes, "What do you got to tell me?" And I go,
What?
He makes me lead off with the conversation. He goes, "What do you got to tell me?" And I go, I don't know.
That is like the ultimate I
was like, am I gonna die? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, "No, seriously, what do you need to tell me? Like, let's just get it out in the open. What do you got to tell me?"
That's a good parenting move right there too with your child. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the ultimate. Like, I know, like you don't know, but you're getting them to confess. Wow. Okay.
Unless they don't know, because I didn't know. I was like, I genuinely had no idea what he was talking about. And he did it one more time. He goes, "Seriously, what do you got to tell me?" I said, I don't know. I started getting frustrated. I was like, "I don't know. Why don't you tell me?" And then he gets out his laptop and he goes, and he hands it to me. And it's an email. And I read the email, and basically, to sum it up, it goes, I miss you. It was like, I miss you, and I can't stand that we're apart. And, you know, I think about you every day, and it seems like you don't even care. And your roommate, Will, he's been telling me what's up. And then the girl started naming like other people on our quad, like Johnny's been telling me and Ben's been telling me, like, you're flirting with other girls. And if you don't come back to me, I'm going to kill myself.
Oh, that's dark. Wait, what? Oh my gosh.
Essentially, this girl, I guess his ex-girlfriend, his old girlfriend, somehow found out the names of everybody that like was in his, that he was rooming with, and everybody in the quad, and just pretended to know us, and then threatened to kill herself if she didn't get back with him.
Oh, that's not good. Ooh, man, that is not good at all.
No. And so then I get mad. I go, how does she know my name? Like, how is she? I've never met her before in my life. And he goes, how does she know my name? He goes, I don't know. You tell me. And I said, no, you tell me. I said,
so you guys.
And I start turning on him. I go, you tell me. I was like, I don't know how she knows my name, how she's threatening to kill herself, and like put me involved in it. And so eventually I was like, dude, I've only known you for like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know how this girl knows my name, but you need to email her back and tell her to stop. Don't mention my name again, because I don't know her. I don't want to know her. And I don't know what the situation is, but you're going to leave me alone about it. Like, I got real serious real fast.
Well, I'm also concerned for her.
I mean,
wow, she threatened to do the worst.
Yeah, okay, sure. But if I knew the girl, fine. But she used my name to like get back with who. I mean,
well, I agree, Will, but I mean, clearly this person's not mentally well. Like,
well, it turns out he wasn't mentally well either, because long story short, I tell my dad about it. He's like, yeah, we got to get you out of there. So my grandma lived in town. She's from the town that I went to school in, so I stayed with her the rest of the semester. But long story short, like, he was kind of crazy. He was picking fights with people. He was, you know, it turns out like all the other guys in the quad ended up having issues with him. Part of me wonders if he made that story up just to like get attention. Like, I honestly think he might have made that up.
I have a question. Did your grandma ever do the same thing as your roommate? Did she ever?
She pulled the chair up when I came home, and she goes, "What do you gotta tell me? You've been drinking my Slim Fast shakes?
I don't know, Grandma.
Like, Grandma, I don't know what you're talking about." Toward the end of the semester, I get a call from the front office of the university. And I knew the lady. She said, "Hey, well, how's it going?" And I said, "Good." And she goes, "I want to ask you about your old roommate." And I said, "Okay." Oh. And she goes, "Did you notice any firearms in the room?"
Oh, man.
And I said, "No. Should we be concerned?" And she goes, "Well, we're having some, behavioral issues with him. He's picking fights with the basketball team and people on the baseball team and, students in class. Like, everyone keeps complaining about him, just like these little outbursts." She's like, "I just want to make sure he doesn't have any firearms on him." I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe you should figure that one out."
Has anyone ever called and been like, "Hey, this is the front office. We just want to tell you how great is doing. I know that you're concerned because you're his old roommate. That's it. Bye. Have a great day."
Don't you think that was like 2 or 3 months after I left? Don't you think if I noticed a firearm at a small university in the hands of a maniac, like, I would say something? But yeah, so that's my crazy roommate story. I can't believe I never told you this.
And I'm guessing he did not graduate from the university.
Here's the thing. I loved my university very much. I had a great time there. But you could kind of tell, like, when you have a really small school,
yeah,
like 85% of your student population is athletes, right? That's how you get students to come in. That's how you get money, is athletes. And so when you have an athletic department that excels, that's good for the school because you attract more students. And
That wait. That much of the university, like
yes,
most of the university
yes,
is on athletic scholarships?
yes. Most small schools
Well,
thrive on athletics. Yes, yeah. In fact, I had breakfast with my old college coach, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and he told me, like, athletics is the lifeblood of small universities all over the country.
That is fascinating. So
He was breaking records, so obviously that was good for the school. So, like, they were walking a fine line of, like, yeah, we know he's crazy. Let's just make sure he doesn't have firearms. And if he doesn't, that passed the test, and we'll just keep him here. Like, that's literally their thought process.
but that is what? Wow, I had no idea that it was. So you think there were more athletes at that school than there were normal students?
I know there were. There
That's
were
crazy.
by a massive margin.
Wow.
My wife and I were both athletes there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew Jordan was. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was just thinking the other day about I'm not going to get specific about this person that I know, okay? Because this person is a really good person.
Let's take a step back down memory
Sure.
lane when me and you were single young people, right?
Yeah.
Dating, right?
Yeah.
If you were to ask me, how did the date go with Susie, right? Let's say it was Susie.
Right.
And I said, well, Will, she's really nice. And I start out with that. What I'm saying is, whatever setup you're doing here, there is a little more going on with this individual. I'm sure we love this individual, but there's a little more going on. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's why I prefaced it by saying that this person's a really good person, because I am going to tell a story that is insane,
Okay.
but I don't want to disparage them because this person really is like it's one of those people that you would like trust to watch your kids because they're just that good of a person.
Do they listen to the podcast? Is this why we're concerned? Is this why we're putting a lot of work into making sure? Like, I know that they may listen to this. I know that they download this. I know that they listen to this.
This person told me this story and told other people this story, and I don't think they care. They seemed very unfazed by people knowing this. But
all right,
this is going somewhere, I promise.
All right.
We were just having a conversation, right?
Right.
And he proceeded to reveal to me all the way up until college, this person did not clip his own toenails. His parents did it for him all throughout high school. And the first time he independently clipped his own toenails was like mid-freshman year. And he said it like as if like it wasn't a big deal and I wouldn't have follow-up questions. And I said, whoa, let's examine this. So you didn't think to cut them? He goes, no, not really. I said, were you scared to cut them? No, not really. I said, so it's just a thing you didn't think about. Whenever you needed your toenails clipped, you asked your parents to cut them? He goes, yeah. And I said, what? I didn't. I was at a loss for words. He wasn't scared to do it. I mean, it wasn't like he was a sheltered person. He just, that's what you did. It was like your parents wash your clothes, throughout, middle school, maybe sometimes high school. Like it was kind of one of those things.
My parents in high school, yeah, I was
right.
Rotten. Yeah,
it was kind of like that. To him, it was just like, okay, Dad, can you clip my toenails? And they obliged.
I think what's interesting is, do you think this person felt a sense of guilt and needed to like confess? Like, why did they reveal this to you?
No, I think it just kind of came up in conversation, and as he was revealing it to me, I kind of prodded with so many questions. It was almost kind of like, oh, I didn't realize this was kind of weird. Again, really, really great guy. That's kind of an odd thing, right?
Yeah. Being 17, 18 years old and like not, yeah, that's super weird, dude. that man took a girl to prom. Like, that man played sports. That guy, he got into a university. Like, and he never thought, hey, these sharp things coming out of my feet,
No.
I need to take care of them.
No, in fact, I think he said went home and had his parents clip it for like the first semester until like at some point,
Oh
like
my God.
yeah, like until like some point during freshman year, he's like, I'm just gonna try this. Like it eventually like clicked, like maybe I'll try this myself.
Man, I don't know if I have anything like that. I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. I mean, oh, you know what? You and I don't know if this got edited out of the podcast or not, but I once told you that I sometimes sit on the toilet to pee just because it's comfortable. And you told me you don't do that. You said you thought that was weird.
no. You are correcting history, sir, because what you proceeded to tell me earlier was that's the only way you go to the bathroom.
No, I did not. If I did, I was lying. That's not true. I pee standing up plenty of times.
Okay. Or it was something where at night, maybe that's what you do?
Yeah, like if I wake up in the middle of the night, I don't want to stand up in the dark. I like to sit down and pee.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Saving the toilet seat. You know, I'm trying to think for me.
Have you? When was the last time you sat down to pee?
I mean, yeah, sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, it happens. But for me to go and sit with a purpose to pee, it's just not something, that's not something Big JC does.
Well, to be clear, I don't like do this in public places, but at home, why wouldn't you?
I don't know, man. Listen, I'm your classic masculine man.
Yeah, it is true.
Whenever you think of the most... You know, this
when people ask me, Will, who's the manliest man you know? I say, it's my old pal, JC. He sure does make me look like a sissy.
So just funny aside. So my grandfather, who's 93 years old, when my son was born, he proceeded to give us a lot of gifts, and like he met him when he was like 2 months old, and he was giving him like action figures, like and like I don't know where he had gotten these too, because like some were like missing like parts to them too. Like there was a dragon. I think it was a dragon. It was missing its head. It didn't have a head. It was like the torso of a dragon, like toy. And he just kept, as he was giving them to us. And my grandfather's very.
Was it brand new, or was it like what was it? Something that he saved from like?
They weren't these like heirlooms that were like passed down for generations. It looked like he'd come at like a garage sale or something like that, like a couple of weeks before. So it's not like he had like, but like his whole
Poppy
thing.
gave your son a headless dragon?
Yeah. Gave him, and it was like Spider-Man. And Batman, and he was like, and he just kept being like, manly toys, you know, tough toys for boys, manly boys, and he kept laying it on like really thick, like he's like, I'm so glad he's a boy, and you can tell he's a boy's boy, and I'm like, well, at this point, he literally can't even. He's just a blob. I'm not sure what he is. But he's like, no, I can tell. Looking at him, that's a man's man, if anything. Meanwhile, it's just like it's just, you know, like babies with like a giant toe at that point, just like, and no, that just reminded me of that. But yes, manliest man. Well, clearly my son is the manliest man because
of course he is.
Poppy, but
I mean, if his father's the manliest man I know, then
I mean, my goodness,
I can't imagine what he's going to be.
If I was the criteria for the manliest man, like the world would be devastated. Like we would be so doomed. I can't change a tire. Can you change a tire?
Yeah. But can I tell you about how I learned this? Because while I say I can change a tire, the way I learned to change a tire is so embarrassing. So I was in high school. I was probably a junior in high school at this point. I was going to the movies to meet someone there. And on the way to the... Maybe. And on the way, a nail went through my tire, and I luckily made it to the theater parking lot. Tire was flat, and it's like, what am I gonna do? And so I saw a police officer at the theater, and I said, hey, oh, officer, you who? I have a flat tire. And he's like, okay. And I said,
That's the best. You're like, this man's gonna help me. He's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's
I
information.
literally said, I said, can you help me? And he goes, how are you like 18, 19 years old and not know how to change a tire? I didn't have an answer for him. I was just like, my dad works in finance. I don't come from a line of like,
Manly man.
yeah.
I'm not. No, I mean that's awesome. To be bullied by a police officer as he's teaching you how to change your tire, that is sort of the ultimate way to learn how to change your tire.
Yeah, so he taught me. But then to give my dad credit, my dad has taught me many things. My dad taught me how to put the fixtures in my ceiling. So I'm going to give him credit there. But
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm not going to give Joel any credit at all because I think our
But your dad isn't like I wouldn't put your past your dad to like know how to do manly things.
He's sneaky, man. He can do very manly things. He's
That doesn't
very
surprise
good.
me.
Yeah, but I think that's also generational. I think we're just inept. I think the generation, like our parents' generation, they seemed like they were inept, but they could do things. But
Yeah,
because they were bullied probably by their dads to have to do it. They had like, whereas like our dads are probably like, I'm not doing that to my kid. I'm just not going to teach them.
Yeah, well, you know, my whole goal is that if my boy can just be better than me, I'm good. So I'm going to try to teach him everything I know and then some. Maybe I'll find YouTube videos like, here's how you change a tire, watch this.
Well, luckily you have two of them. So like at least one of them, like it's 50-50. One of them, going to be better.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
Well, duties, I think our time has come to end this amazing little podcast.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap this bad boy out. Dude, get out of here! I don't want you to listen anymore. We don't even want you to.
We don't want you anymore. You hear? I never wanted you. I never wanted you to listen. I never wanted you to subscribe.
We don't want you to leave any thoughtful messages.
Don't look at me like that.
Stop it, you dude. Get out of here.
Bye.